welcome to Film Flashback Face Off.
Yeah, okay, that's very good. Yeah, so
What's up, people?
This is the first time we're using the name. I've been deleting it from the previous files of you.
What's up, people? I'm Richie.
I'm Jim.
I'm Carl.
I'm Jason.
I'm Ray.
Yeah.
Now you can start talking, Jim.
I am talking.
Now you can do your spiel of erasing the name and all that jazz.
Well, now I don't want to. The moment is past. So what are we doing on the show today? Well, what is this show? It's where a few older dudes pick out a movie that the younger dudes have not seen, and we make them watch it, and then we find out whether they enjoyed it as much as we remember enjoying it ourselves. So this week, we picked what movie?
Rollerball.
Rollerball. The original.
Ridge.
The Ridge Tridge. Rollerball, this starred James Caan, of course. It was from 1975. It was directed by Norman Jewison. So I didn't even know like a real director directed this until I watched it again. And I saw it. I said, Norman Jewison.
Moonstruck.
Man,
Made Moonstruck.
like a real director. This is like it was supposed to be a real movie.
This was a real movie.
So it starred James Caan and John Houseman and others. It even had a small cameo appearance by Gold Leader from Star Wars.
No.
Yeah, that was Gold Leader.
Are you talking about Mr. Bartholomew's assistant?
No, I'm talking about the military guy who was like Jonathan E's valet that was picking him up in the helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
Are you talking about
That was Gold Leader from Star Wars.
talking about Wedge? Wedge? That's his name in Star Wars.
No, not Wedge. Y-Wing pilot. Gold Leader.
Oh.
Red Leader,
okay.
this is Gold Leader. We're starting for the target shaft now.
Okay.
That makes two from Star Wars.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're thinking of the smarmy dude from getting choked out by
The
Vader.
guy that gets choked out by Vader.
Yeah.
I feel like he's just blended into all faces. I can
Yes.
picture what he looks like. It's such an obscure character. I thought you were going to talk about the coach, who's also the emperor from the Never-Ending Story.
Yeah, the guy who was the coach is a character actor, been in like a billion things. That guy.
That's
So-
what I thought you meant.
And so is his trainer there, or his ex-coach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So-
he was
Same
in
guy, right?
Heartbreak Ridge.
that's right. He was in Heartbreak Ridge.
Well, if we're doing this, then Mr. Bartholomew was in.
Paper Chase, of course.
But he was also like the driving instructor in Naked Gun. Extend.
John
the middle
Houseman was the
finger.
driving instructor in Naked Gun.
Yeah.
John Houseman was also in Scrooged.
Yeah. He was the narrator in Scrooge.
So this
He has
is
a
about
lovely voice for a
and the-
bad guy, I got to say.
And the librarian is the ultimate being in time bandits.
I'm sure there's been a lot of people in a lot of other movies that were in this movie, but let's go on to what this movie is, which is a near future, dystopian future, where corporations, there's like 6 of them that run the world. There's no more governments. They're all run by corporations. And they all have this game. There's one big game for the entire world. It's called Rollerball. It's spectator sport. And Jonathan E. and I think it's Evans because they mention Evans is still on the track, blah, 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 blah. But they never make it clear that's his last name. He is like the number 1 player in the sport, basically. And they want him to retire the Energy Corporation.
Because he's bigger than the game. And we can't have that.
I know, it made no sense.
Hey,
Because
what?
the-
No, what?
Because the
Made
game
no sense.
because,
Made no sense.
because the game was designed
man.
so no one person could excel. So that to show the futility of being an individual. And How do I know this? Because John Houseman explains it exactly. It's like there is no subtlety to the message this is throwing at you. They put it right on Front Street.
It's a
But
barbaric game.
before we give our opinion,
That's a good impression.
before we give our impressions and our remembrances, let's go to Jason, Jazzy J, and Raymond, otherwise known as Ray, for their opinion of the 1975 film.
I guess I'll go first.
There you go.
I understand this movie takes place in 2018. One problem I had with this film was they didn't even try to make it futuristic. I mean, all the characters look like they're about to go to a disco. We can clearly tell the movie was, it was all in the 70s. They didn't even try to make it like futuristic at all, in my opinion.
Well, polyester pantsuits didn't.
Dude, that's
No.
Ray's next Halloween costume.
Hey,
when I saw that, I was like, "Fucking Ray, right there."
All I
How
know
about
is they made a comeback in the 23rd century.
Yeah.
Because Star Trek Next Generation, everyone was wearing spandex
Yeah.
pantsuits and
Yeah,
I think
sweaters.
they
that-
tried to find futuristic buildings in Europe.
Well, I mean, they
sort
had
of
Star
succeeded.
Trek. They've had sci-fi stuff before this, like Lost in Space. I mean, they didn't even try in this one. I feel like because
They had the blow up gun, the laser gun.
Oh, that's true.
okay,
Yeah,
oh,
they-
And they were
or,
blowing up trees. It's very futuristic.
or the computer that's in that water tank where that guy's like threatening to like beat it up because
Yeah.
it's not telling us
Zero.
don't make me punish you.
Yeah.
And it's like he's like hitting it, and it's like give me a break.
He was arguing like the guy
Water
from,
cooler.
yeah, he was
Water
he was
cooler.
he was arguing from the guy from Willy Wonka. I'm about
Yeah.
to tell the computer
Oh, man.
what it could do with its chocolate.
I thought the movie didn't make a lot of sense. It was violent, I guess. I thought the game Rollerball was pretty cool, the concept of it, but yeah, I just thought it was. I didn't think they tried hard enough to make it futuristic at all.
Well, they
I just
have
felt
those
like-
they had those little glass things in the
Oh, the
meditation
silent room, yeah.
Yeah, very futuristic.
yeah, glass curtains.
Glass curtains.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, there's glass
but-
curtains now.
Or the fact that orange always symbolizes future in the 70s. Anything
Yes.
colored orange.
Yeah.
Orange
Yes.
hallways.
Yeah. Well, that was orange.
The orange was
for
the
energy.
colors for energy.
Great.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. So every corporation had their own color.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Okay, I
Orange
thought
for
it was just
energy.
70s orange.
Yeah.
There was Madrid was blue, I think.
yeah. Yep.
Yellow, which is kind of stereotypical.
Yeah.
Right? That was
Yeah,
a little on the
Yellow to
nose.
be the Asian team, and
The karate accountants.
Yes,
They
this,
remind me of karate accountants.
Yeah, they didn't have to be too PC back then.
no. So
Heck no.
So there is, obviously, 1975, so it's not going to be friendly to minorities or Asians, although it didn't have a lot of other stereotypical stuff for the other.
No, race didn't matter.
No.
There was no. It wasn't about race anymore or religion.
Yeah.
It was just about you being a executive or not.
So, Raymond, what do you think of this?
All right, are y'all done, Jay, though?
Oh yeah, man, I'm good. There's not much to say about this movie. I mean, I
All
thought
right.
some of the camera shots
boy.
are pretty cool, like for it being filmed in 1975. But yeah, the storyline didn't make sense. I just didn't think they even tried to make it It didn't feel like a sci-fi futuristic movie, in my opinion.
All right,
All right.
all right, Ray, go get him,
So-
Tuffy.
I got a bunch of notes.
Go-
And I just gotta go.
Go get him,
Tuffy.
Tuffy.
Yeah, what happened to Tuffy? That guy never showed up ever again in the movie. Like,
You didn't make the team.
Hey,
oh, that's why.
that's toughy.
Uh, yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of go through like highlights, things that like, I was watching it that made me like, huh, what? The Phantom of the Opera music
Things
at the
that
beginning and the
made
end.
you go,
Yeah, like The Phantom of the
Great
Opera music was interesting choice. I thought like they're trying to look so cool and badass with these outfits, but it's like a BDSM kind of like look to them. Like it's like the spike gloves. I don't know. I didn't get that.
Only
Trying to make him
against
look
Spike
tough.
Gloves.
No, they all had spike gloves.
No, they all had spike gloves.
Yeah, everybody ends up killing each other at one point in the movie.
Yeah,
That's Rollerball. That's why it's supposed
Yeah.
to.
Well,
motorcycles.
Yeah, and the game itself, as it went on, of course, they kept changing the rules until there were no rules and no time limits, and where they were trying to kill the guy, basically, hoping he'd die.
Totally.
And people would see that.
So I remember my dad talking about this movie, like it was a cool sci-fi movie, and then I watch it, and there's nothing like that. The only dystopian thing about this movie is watching it today. Like the way the ball shoots around the whole rink is like a pinball game, because like I guess pinball is super big back then, so why not make it kind of part of the movie? The matching leisure suits that the whole team had, they wore it on like 3 occasions. You see them matching this. Like they had this like matching leisure suit thing going on.
Right.
James Caan was interesting. He was like super soft spoken. He kind of like reminded me of the Water Boy a little bit. I don't know, like his cadence.
His cadence was very.
real
he
subtle.
did this other movie where he played Brian Piccolo, a NFL football player who dies of cancer, and was like best friends with Gale Sayers, famous NFL running back for the Bears. And he had that same cadence in that movie. He was very soft spoken in that.
Yeah,
movie.
very soft spoken for James Caan. I thought that was interesting because he's always known for like yelling and getting mad. Like Godfather and even Elf, he would get angry. So I thought that was interesting. It took 49 minutes before 70s porn music came on. I thought that a little too long. I was waiting for that like and it finally happened. That whole like, okay, let's talk about that scene. That whole like party. Like, what was that all about? Like, they're just watching highlights and like everybody's dancing with their foreheads against each other. And
that's how you danced in 2008.
future
yeah, but like,
dancing.
are they like? It reminded me of like Demolition Man, where they wear the halos and they can have sex. So I don't know if that was something because like they would all assign their wives, or wives got like wife swapped by the corporations. They just made the decision like, here, you have a new girlfriend.
Yeah,
I thought that was there was some weird stuff. It was like very, I don't know. I thought that was.
I'd be fine with that.
Because he was getting executive level privileges.
Yeah,
Without
and
being
that's
an
what was
executive.
And that's what was pissing old John Houseman off.
Ah. What about Moon Pie? What a great name for a character.
Yeah. Swoop.
He swooped.
Dude, he's at that party and he has this like Marburg chin, this like gigantic chin.
Oh yeah.
And he's like talking to this chick, and I wrote down the quote. He's like, "You like poetry?" And she's like, "Uh-huh." He's like, "Come upstairs. I got a poem for you." And then he snickers and he like just takes this random chick upstairs. I thought that was interesting. That whole party, like she's crying.
You like poetry? Yeah.
Boss
Come upstairs for sex.
Yeah.
I mean poetry.
I mean poetry.
Poetry. Just the zooming in and out of like those dramatic 70s shots were hilarious. Yeah, them carrying around the laser gun and like blowing up like all these trees and stuff. Like what the? I did not expect that. And there's not even special effects. It's just them
Because
pointing a gun.
That's the disaffected population. That's
You shoot trees.
I guess.
And then the gun goes pew 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 pew.
They really blew up those trees, man.
Yeah, I know.
They definitely did.
Yeah,
It reminded me of like the noisy cricket, like from Men in Black. Kind
And no one gave about it either.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
When-
Like,
when
they're
it was
showing all
berserk.
these drunk people shooting a bazooka gun.
Yeah.
Crazy. Oh, there's a scene where like James Caan's just kind of thinking like how he should, fight back to get his wife, fight back against the system, and why are they making me quit? All of like the problems you've been asking for almost an hour into the movie. And then he just goes in his like slow southern like twang. He's like, I think I'll go to one of them computer centers. And then he goes to like this like, with the water cooler AI. What a weird scene. That was the weirdest scene. Oh, excuse me. That was the weirdest scene because like he just gets angry at the AI and starts kicking it. And it's supposed to be like the super advanced knowledge, but it's like, well, except for like one part of like the corporate wars, we don't have that record anymore. And it's also messing up big time right now. So I'm going to kick it. I thought that was odd. The whole
Name was
Tokyo game was weird. Like they're like staring at each other, and they were not intimidating with their punching as they're like their karate. Looked like they were doing like light aerobics as they're like skating around. It didn't
Well,
look
they
like
had their
intimidating.
each team had their own like little thing they
Warm
did.
up.
warm
Yeah.
up around the track.
That was like the worst one. You see like the
Yeah, because the
audience members
Houston
doing it too.
they did the Houston stride.
Hits the Houston stride.
And then they do like a flying V.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the game itself, because the
It's
game
so
was
weird.
so popular with the cast that they used to play it between takes.
What?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they actually played the game. They
Motorcycles and everything.
I'd play.
Yeah, for
Fucking
death.
cool
and,
game.
Like ended up like Moon Pie, like ended on life support, just laying there forever.
You knew,
What happened to
you
him?
knew
He's
Moon
just like,
Pie was
they just
not
left
getting
him.
out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So this
they
was
foreshadowed that.
yeah,
So foreshadowed
crazy.
it.
this was the first movie where stunt people were credited.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's like super dangerous. Like I'm like seeing them
Oh,
hit
people
the
got hurt
ground. I'm
left
like,
and right,
Ow,
they
dude.
said.
Like this looks like banging themselves up back then. And then the ending was terrible. It was like one of the worst anticlimactic endings I've ever seen. Like it's just the two guys and they both attack him and he just, jukes him. And then he slowly slam dunks the final ball and like nobody's cheering and he just like skates off. And then it's like the Phantom of the Opera again at the end with his like angry face. I'm like, okay, that's how it ends.
Well, it's him triumphing. It's him
What?
triumphing over the system.
Yeah. He last man standing.
Yep.
He was bigger than any one player. He was the
Yeah.
man.
Okay, well I like that better then.
So
Not
I
gonna
was
lie,
just
when
a little taken back.
I saw this in the theater, and I did.
It's a long movie too.
I was a
That-
kid, and when that ended, I was like, hell yeah! What a great movie.
So it was
So cheesy.
filmed in the Olympic basketball arena in Munich, West Germany, and they picked that arena because it is perfectly round.
Oh wow!
So
that's cool.
they can put the track in there.
Ah,
But they could only get about an eighth of the stands full with extras.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
small.
well, not a lot of Germans were down with Rollerball.
Well, I just don't think they had the budget, and they didn't anticipate HD TVs because you
Right.
could totally see a million empty seats.
Oh yeah.
More of an Eastern German thing than a Western, really.
so this
You'd like to play a rollerball.
this movie it cost between 5 and 6 million, and it made 30 million. So it was quite the hit actually.
Hmm.
In
Different times.
$1975.
3 of which were Richies.
That's right. So let's go around, me, Carl, and Richie, to say whether we enjoyed this movie as much as we remember enjoying this movie.
I'll be the middle between the two groups because I don't think I've ever seen it
Oh,
until
well,
last night.
Oh, okay. I believe the first time I saw it with my brother Jim.
probably. I've seen this movie a bunch of times.
Yeah, I believe we were at the because that's what was out, kids. So
Yeah.
we didn't have 10,000 things at our fingertips. We had Rollerball, and we went to see it a bunch.
I know.
So why? How are they trying to force him to quit? Like,
Yeah, the plot really didn't
can
make a
they
lot
just
of
not
sense.
re-sign him? Like, if LeBron James?
No, they wanted him to quit. They wanted him to choose
just
to
don't-
quit.
Right.
They didn't
Because he was
want
too legit.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
didn't because they didn't. They don't want to look like they're forcing him to quit.
Right. They wanted it to be for the good of the energy company.
Which still didn't make any sense. Like the
You
plot
could
hole.
shave
Because
Go ahead, because why? I still don't get it. But
because they don't want to lose face.
Yeah, if they fire
Right.
the
If they
greatest player to ever play the game, the public may not look favorably on the
Okay.
corporation.
I'll buy it. They could have shaved off at least a half hour out of here.
Oh,
you know,
easy. That's a
standard
long
operation,
movie.
standard
Like the
operating
entire
procedure.
party scene. What the
You
hell?
know, being
Yeah,
an
that's-
executive.
That's the weirdest part of the whole movie. Like
It
everybody's
is.
sleeping with each other.
I don't know. I thought it was kind of junk. I enjoyed the rollerball scenes, the game itself. It was fun.
Yeah.
And so did I, and I think that's why I liked this movie. I liked the rollerball scenes.
Yeah. I don't
Like
I
after
don't
watching it again, I was going, this picture ain't that good.
It's not.
I don't think it was meant to. The story was meant to do anything but highlight the game.
Yeah, I know, but my issue because
That's why
this is straight up science fiction. This wasn't science
This doesn't look like
fantasy
it.
or
Right.
what we would call science fiction nowadays. This was like, but the problem is, a lot of science fiction would allude to being something else. It would be an allegory to something. And like I said earlier, this puts its message right on Front Street. It says what its message is. It doesn't let you discover that on your own throughout the movie. It tells you exactly what it means to be.
Right.
So I find that weak in a science fiction film.
It wasn't even really all that science fiction-y, too. It just
Yeah,
just
but
said,
I'm
"Hey,
saying it's a
we're in the
futuristic
future."
film. I'm saying I'm not talking about its level. I'm talking about its message.
Mm. Corporations are still bad. We shouldn't let them take over.
Yeah,
That's a good
but,
message.
But they say, but that's the message right up there, right up in front. They say why they want them to quit. They say, it's so the corporations are. Everyone depends on the corporation. No one individual is bigger than the whole. That whole.
But they never. It never made a reason for us to hate the corporation. They weren't that bad.
They were
Yeah.
trying to make Jonathan
Oh,
quit.
yeah, good point. Yeah, bad character development on the bad guy side.
Yeah,
Like their motive.
yeah. All their motives seem to be PR motives.
It could have shown the underbelly, like the slums in the cities or something like that.
Yeah. Like the running
Yeah,
man.
everybody looked like they're having a lot of fun.
Well,
It wasn't very
this
dystopian.
Yeah.
this got 67% on Rotten Tomatoes.
The great Jonathan E.
One review from Don
Lumbai.
Drucker was lifeless, uninspired, and crammed with enough hints of intellectual consistency to give the socially conscious critical establishment shivers of excitement.
Okay.
What?
That
The
sounds
fuck
like a
does
good
that
thing.
It says everyone, including Mr. Caan and John Houseman, who plays a leading Houston executive, is more solemn and serious than this movie ever merits.
Did John Houseman's eyebrows get credited too? Because they
Yeah.
were. It's
Oh, yeah.
And this
That scene in the party where he looks back and they zoom in on him and he's
Yeah.
staring at him.
I was just like, dude.
Dude, his eyebrows are on fleek.
Yeah, I was like, in 2018 they make clippers that'll handle that shit. Little
Man.
comb, just goes, you're
He
good.
looks like a Harkonnen from Dune.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So this is my favorite review. It was a review blurb from Steve Warren. Rollerball is an okay movie with nothing new to say. It also
Yeah.
got some good reviews, but
Mm.
they are what they are.
yeah,
It should have been all Rollerball, and I
Well,
would have
they-
liked it more.
yeah.
Should have
But
went
then
to
you
like
have
different
Lizzie.
countries and played all the different like types of countries, and they could have showed like. I
yeah,
don't
but
know,
there was only 5 corporations, right? Or 6.
6 corporations, yeah.
I mean, how do you do it playoffs? Like it's like hockey. Almost everybody gets
Everyone's
in.
in, yeah. Well,
Honestly, the movie
I'm
could
sure.
have used. All right.
I'm sure they really made this movie 100% better with the remake Rollerball that came out in 2002, starring Chris Klein, LL
And
Cool
LL
J,
Cool J.
and Rebecca
Rebecca
Romaine
Ro-
Stamos, and Jean Reno as the evil owner of the
and
Rollerball
Paul
team.
Heyman as the commentator.
And that
Did you guys see
movie,
that?
movie
I
cost
did.
$70 million to make and made a whopping $25.9 million.
I saw that movie in theaters.
Whoa.
Wow. See, we
You were
both saw
one of the
Rollerball.
few. You were one of the few.
We both saw Rollerball in theaters. Mine was the better one, and yours wasn't.
Was yeah, true.
I was going to say that this movie actually would have benefited from a montage, kind of like what you were talking about, Jay, with like the other teams and that to make you more invested in the game itself
Right.
and show off other things.
Well-
montage would have been nice.
Well,
Yeah, but then they would have probably cut that great scene of his eyebrows.
so Richie,
like
what's
you
your
got-
favorite scene?
Oh, the practice with Tuffy.
I knew that was. That's why I asked.
Come on, I say that. I've been saying that line since I was 5.
I know.
Go get him, Tuffy.
Go get him, Toby.
Oh, who's that? That's
What a
Tuffy.
great nickname.
That's Tuffy.
Tuffy and Moon Pie. They
Go
came up
get
with some
'em.
good future nicknames.
Go get him, Tuffy.
Moon pie is just a snack at 7-Eleven. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Right?
All I know
They
is
gave
if
it to
I'm
the
on
guy
a
with the inbred
rollerball
chin.
team, I want to be on the motorcycle.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because at least you can power around the track, and you got some protection.
Right. Yeah, I guess so. You don't want to be a scooper. Go get that ball.
No, I'll stick my hand in the track, and then
Yeah.
he clearly warned not to do that.
Like the
I don't
track's
know.
Like that guy
The
with his
track's not-
head in the track.
yeah.
Yep.
When the
track's not that
ball
big.
comes and smacks that guy in the back of the helmet.
Yeah.
Boonk.
They should have had like weapons in the very last game to like really ramp up the stakes. If they're just gonna kill everybody anyways, like have like an epic championship because they keep changing the rules, right? And then
Right. Every
So why
time they
not?
change.
they could have just ended that like much better, a bigger conclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd
it
be cool.
is. Bigger conclusion.
I don't understand. The only thing I didn't understand was why he was so
So
against retiring. Because
Yeah.
even though he was really good at it, and they were like, "We'll give you you get executive and don't have to be an executive." I'm like, all right.
well, he
don't
loved the
have to
game. Didn't you hear him?
He
I
loves
love this game.
He told Moon Pie how much he loves the game.
Yeah, you don't make $1 million.
He skates the skate.
He skates the skate.
I know we brushed on it earlier, but I was like, "There's no way Moon Pie's making it out of Tokyo." I thought he was
Yeah.
gonna die, but
I knew when I first started watching, like, oh, Moon Pie, that dude's he's gonna be the
So-
death in this movie. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
knew
Oh,
it
yeah.
was coming. You knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Or he'd be the one to betray his friend. One of those two.
No
Or
way.
Yeah.
Some twist was coming.
Yeah, that's wow.
Well,
All right, Carl, what do you think about it? You this is the first time you saw it. You're old.
I pretty much said,
Yeah.
well, I was only 2 when this came out. 1.5 probably. I don't
Right.
know. I thought it was
We
pretty,
didn't
pretty
watch it
bad. I'll probably
live.
never watch it again. I'd rather listen to the Phantom of the Opera theme
That's a
again.
That's a shame, Carl, because I'm definitely watching it again.
I'll bite the bullet and watch the newer one
Ugh.
ugh, yeah.
just for fun.
I've only seen the new one once, I think, and that was when I saw it in theaters when I was.
Well,
even
the
younger.
new one has ramps,
Yeah,
And
LL Cool
inline
J-
skates.
and the
Yeah,
track is
yeah.
a lot smaller.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
tiny.
And
Oh.
LL Cool J rides a Harley in it, like the motorcycles is a Harley. And some
Ah.
other teams have like ninja cycles, and it's still dumb though.
There's no making this movie cool.
Plus, his
Yeah.
name is not Jonathan E, and it is Jonathan Cross.
But
They
they
could
did keep calling him Jonathan E.
No. In the 2022 version, Chris Klein plays
Chris
Jonathan
Klein.
Cross.
Jonathan Cross.
I'm surprised they didn't just name him Ace Hunter.
Chris Klein is junk in everything except for one.
Oh yeah,
movie.
what man? That's crazy. They tried pushing him as like an action star for a couple years, and it just did not stick at
No.
all.
He's even
Chris
bad in
Klein.
American Pies.
Yeah,
He's really bad. But
Yeah.
in the election, he's perfect because
Yeah.
he is that character.
Well, all right.
Election with Reese Witherspoon and
Great
Matthew Broderick.
Great movie.
So none of you guys got the whole Mystery Alaska. Have you guys seen Mystery Alaska?
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't get the Mystery Alaska stuff that I was saying about Jonathan E. Then.
No.
He was doing the
He looked-
lawyer at the
Oh,
court.
Oh.
He'll make $1 million.
Yeah.
I remember it now.
They don't make $1 million. He skates
Yeah.
to skate.
He loves
Yeah, that's a
to
good. Yep.
play.
And he has a heart attack right in
Yeah.
the theater or in
Yeah.
the courtroom.
All right. Well, then, since we're all in agreement, we didn't like this movie, except for
Mhm.
Richie, who
Whoa.
still enjoys it.
I enjoy the terribleness of it.
I love terrible movies too, but it gets to a point where it's too terrible, and I never want to watch it again. It
Yes.
just wouldn't hit that for me.
Well, I'm just hoping that Ray pulls off that suit for that leisure suit for Halloween next year.
I have to have
Everyone's
somebody
like-
match with me though. Someone has to wear the same thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
Scorsese. He'd be Moon Pie.
Because they
Yeah.
kind of wore uniforms. They wore the uniform on and then that uniform
Right.
off. So they were all
Right.
still, conforming.
Right.
Everybody be like, "Hey, Rollerball 75,
Yeah, right.
good one."
Be like, no, clearly I'm dressed in 2018.
2018, kids.
All right. Well, that I guess concludes our rollerball segment of the evening. And we have a new email address. So if you would like to send us an email, you can send it to.
Film Fan Man.
Do not send it to that.
Film Flashback Face Off.
No, just
No,
flashbackfaceoff@gmail.com. I knew I should have said it.
Flashback Face Off at gmail.com. Couldn't you do it like something abbreviated?
No, because
Like, you
those
couldn't
are
do, like,
taken.
Flash face.
What do you think? Oh, can't you just have any email address
Flash
you want?
off.
No, because most of the cool ones are
Yeah.
taken.
Well,
We got lucky with the old one.
flashbackfaceoff.com at gmail.com.
Just triple F.
It's not flashback face off.
Flashback Face Off at gmail.com.
Film flashback face off.
No, just flashback face.
Flashback Face Off at gmail.com.
Yeah. So
Damshow.co.
what movie are we doing next week?
Oh,
Wait,
Oh, yeah.
Midnight Run.
No, I don't think I've seen that
No.
one.
I haven't seen
What?
that one.
They have not seen
That is a
Midnight Run.
must watch. That's a
That-
must.
I've heard of it.
It was, I believe, De Niro's first comedy.
Huh.
You get it started and I'll run you over.
Seriously.
Okay, so we'll do Midnight Run next, a lighthearted comedy, a lighthearted
Right.
romp with Robert De Niro and Charles. We'll do Midnight
I've
Run,
heard of it.
No,
and then we'll do
All right.
Iron Eagle. It's about the kid who flies the F-16 to get his father who's being held hostage.
Nope.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so next week we'll do Midnight Run.
Okay.
All right.
It's a Midnight Run for Christ's sake.
It's a midnight run.
Oh,
God, you guys are.
Iron
from
Eagle
1993
after that.
called.
All right.
I haven't seen
That sounds
Iron
good.
Eagle in so
I'm down.
long.
I know, but yeah, exactly. Well, that's the end of Film Flashback Face Off, or Triple F, if you want to be cool and hip like the youngsters.
Right on. Until next week. Yeah, we're doing Midnight Run next week
Midnight Run, yes.
on Film Flashback Face Off.